This morning, the best and worst of Texas politics in 2023. It's time for our annual Turkey Awards. Lots of names on our list this Thanksgiving weekend. Republican Chairman Matt Rinaldi, State Rep Jeff Leach from Collin County, State Education Chief Mike Morath, Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo, Congressman Michael McCall from Central Texas, former State Rep Brian Slayton from East Texas, State Rep Andrew Murr from West Texas, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, House Speaker Dade Phelan, and Governor Greg Abbott are regulars at this table, but what will the roundtable recognize them for this year? Plus, a couple of newcomers to the Turkey Awards, Mattress Mac from Houston, and leaders at Texas A&M making their first appearance on the annual Turkey Awards here on Inside Texas Politics.
Inside Texas Politics with Jason Whiteley starts now.
Good Sunday morning to you. Hope you had a great holiday. This morning we're handing out the leftovers from the refrigerator. It is tradition here at Inside Texas Politics. We give a turkey leg to those in politics who have something to brag about this year. And guess who gets the gizzard? Those who could have done better. So handing out the Turkey Awards every year. It's the roundtable here at Inside Texas Politics. Bud Kennedy from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. I am Mitra from the Texas Tribune is in Austin this morning, and Bernadine Steptoe from WFAA in Dallas, along with myself. Good morning to you guys. Hope you had a great holiday weekend.
Good morning. We've got some leftover legs and gizzards.
We have a lot of leftovers. I'll start things off here, and the very first award this morning is a turkey leg. This is for someone who's done something good this year, and it goes to House Speaker Dade Phelan in Austin. Now, I'm giving this award because I think he should be recognized for standing up to the far right in his party, to standing up to defend Texas liberty. He called out the moral rot a few months ago. Now, a lot of people have labeled him a rhino in the party, but there are very few people in the Republican Party with courage to do what he's done, I think.
I totally agree. And you know what? It was as if he came into himself this session.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah, he no fear. He protected his house. I think he did an extremely good job, and he deserves a leg.
This one doesn't seem as controversial. Let's talk about the next award this morning. It goes to Brian Slayton. He gets a gizzard, and I am Mitra. You're awarding this one today.
Yeah, this might be the easiest gizzard to give for this year. You know, the former representative. An investigation in the House found that he gave alcohol, drank, and had a relationship with a 19-year-old aide. He was expelled from the House. He had resigned, but the House still voted to expel him. Dade Phelan even referred to predatory behavior in regard to the former representative. It's just an easy gizzard to give.
No question about that one, Bud.
Well, I think that was an easy course. He was gone. He was gone from the table early in the session.
Yeah.
So it's like they gave him the boot. He wasn't even here for Thanksgiving.
Bernadine, you have the next award this morning. It is a leg, and it's going to the Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo.
Yes, and I think that she definitely deserves one because she not only did she show courage, but she brought mental illness to the forefront and showed that mental illness can affect anybody and everybody.
Right.
And she went off to get help, and she showed that there shouldn't be a stigma to it. And I think that she deserves a leg.
I think people are still considering her a rising star in the Democratic Party. Now, we've heard that term a lot on a number of different people who may not have technically risen, but she is doing something no one else in Texas politics that I can think of has actually done.
She came in as a very inexperienced candidate, has showed a lot of that inexperience. Part of the reason she's considered a rising star of the Democratic Party is for absence of any other rising star.
Yeah. Bud, I've called on you a few times this morning, but you have the next award this morning. It is a gizzard for the Lieutenant Governor.
A gizzard for the Lieutenant Governor and the Texas Senate.
The entire Senate here.
The entire Senate, the Lieutenant Governor of the Senate, we talked a lot about the education funding and vouchers, and then of course you had the Paxton removal trial. But you go back to all the other subjects before the Senate. The Senate constantly, given the choice of good politics or good government, the Senate chose good politics on every bill. Whether it was the energy bill, the tax bill, the Senate fought over and over for populist political points of view instead of for for what really worked the best for government. The Senate stood its ground. The stubbornness, just the unwillingness to move, the senators mostly fell in line. I'm giving them a 32-pack of gizzards.
A 32-pack? Jeez. But you know, you can't argue with one thing here. The lieutenant governor did pass a lot of his legislation unanimously in that chamber.
Well, he did, and you know, he also has it's a different thing in the Senate than it is in the House. The power that the lieutenant governor has, the ability to kind of form the agenda. You know, Speaker Phelan has to kind of allow his, you know, he has a whole lot more folks to oversee in that chamber too. You know, also let's not forget that Dan Patrick, you know, in this kind of, you know, just tough relationships that he's having. He called on the speaker to resign. It's been a very tough year, and Dan Patrick has really been kind of going after the speaker a lot.
No doubt about that, Bernadine.
Yes, and you know what? It would seem that he would allow, and I know that unanimously, but allow senators to vote their districts. And you had some of the districts who were not for a lot of the laws that were passed, but they passed. So he does an excellent job in controlling his Senate.
Yeah, no question about his control of that chamber. Let's talk about another regular table guest that we have here every year, at least the past, seems like 10 years or so. It's not the lieutenant governor, it's the governor himself, Greg Abbott. I'm giving him a gizzard this year for threatening fellow Republicans to campaign against them over school vouchers. He said he would pardon the Army vet down in Austin, Daniel Perry, after Daniel Perry drove into a protest and shot and killed a man there. He hasn't, to my knowledge, held the DPS director, Steve McCraw, accountable for his department's failures in Uvalde and also, you know, the razor wire down there on the Rio Grande, the buoys with the razor wire has just gotten him all kinds of negative attention this year.
Well, you know, he's been tough on everybody, but he hasn't been tough on his own DPS, and I think that's the problem. This is a tougher, harder edge than we've ever seen from Governor Abbott, but you know, he has not held the line where it counts on some issues.
And it seems to me he's really playing a lot more to politics, to populist politics, as Bud said, than anything else here right now.
Look no more than how he's handled the voucher debate here too, and you know, calling the special sessions too, and you know, the issue of teacher pay, school funding has gotten caught up in this debate too, and so there's still kind of issues of funding allotment that haven't gone because they've gotten caught up in this voucher debate. So there's a lot of tension built up over this as well.
And the lawmakers have been in Austin since January, and there's, you know, rumors of maybe a fifth special session that the governor might call if they don't figure school vouchers out, and right now it appears they will not.
Meeting around the Christmas tree.
Yeah, indeed so. Ian, you're up next with the next award. It is a leg this morning for Congressman Michael McCall from Central Texas.
Yeah, you know, the congressman in a time, you know, where we've seen lots of upheaval in the House, you know, with the speaker fights and stuff. And, you know, since he's become House Foreign Affairs Chair, you know, Congressman McCall has really tried to work across the aisle. He's tried to build consensus. He's also kind of spoken out about the impacts of, you know, what the speaker fight looked like for us, for Americans and American status abroad. He really has talked about Israel and Ukraine aid in a way in terms of, you know, why it's good foreign policy. So he's really done a good job of kind of rising above kind of a lot of the usual political maneuvering.
That's a good term, rising above. I think Congressman McCall, a Republican obviously, has done a good job of that for multiple years in D.C.
It's been really tough in some of these years to rise above it, and you know, he continues to hold a respected position. And you know, I think most people look to him for leadership in foreign affairs, even in this time when the Republicans don't seem to agree on anything else.
Yeah.
And he has shown what we actually expect from our elected officials.
Yeah.
That you look at trying to pass policy and get things done and not just go with what's popular at that time.
Indeed so. That was a good award there, Ian. Hey, we have not even halfway through our list this morning. Here's who's up next.
A lot more recipients ahead this morning, including Attorney General Ken Paxton, Texas Republican Chairman Matt Rinaldi, State Senator Kelly Hancock from Fort Worth, State Rep Jeff Leach from Plano, and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who will have a full plate this morning when Inside Texas Politics returns in just a moment.
Join us in celebrating Kia's season of giving back. Get 1.9% APR for 48 months plus $1,000 trade assist cash on select new 2023 Sorrento models.
of creation as it stood alone. Make me a partner of the wind and sun, honest and true as the horoscope. Just keep an eye on all that's done and said, and guide me on the long trail road.
Let's get it.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Santa Fe, or sign and drive one home. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Company cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, and fleet vehicles are involved in thousands of accidents every year. If you were hurt in a company vehicle accident, we make it as simple as 1, 2, 3. 1. Contact Thomas J. Henry. 2. Our attorneys will come to you day or night. 3. We will handle everything while you focus on healing. Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Call today. Thomas J. Henry is available 24/7, nights and weekends.
Timing is everything. And here in Texas, Black Friday marks the beginning of the most wonderful time of the year. When families come together, traditions come alive, and the best deals on your favorite Ford vehicles continue all week long. The Black Friday sales event is on at your Texas Ford dealer. Don't wait. Now's the time to make the holidays bright. It all ends soon. Drive Bronco Sport with 2.9 for $60 plus $1,000 bonus cash at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys, Mavericks, and Stars.
Come to Abilities Expo. Find tons of resources for the disability community at Abilities Expo, December 1st through 3rd at Dallas Market Hall.
The climbing wall was so cool! I so want to continue learning and being independent, and I knew the information was here.
Find life-changing products and tech, learn from experts, and play adaptive sports, dance, and more.
I come for the products, but I stay for the fun.
Abilities Expo, December 1st through 3rd at Dallas Market Hall. Visit abilities.com.
Join us in celebrating Kia's season of giving back. Get 0.9% APR for 48 months plus $1,000 trade assist cash on a new 2023 EV6.
All right, welcome back to Inside Texas Politics here. We are handing out our annual Turkey Awards this morning. We give a turkey leg to those in politics who have something to brag about this year. And you know who probably gets the gizzard. I don't mind the gizzard, guys. The gizzard's pretty good. I've been to a few places where I like it. But Bernadine, you don't like the gizzard. Bud, do you like it?
It's just small. That's the point.
Yeah.
It's not much of a Thanksgiving meal.
Well, it is difficult to chew.
It is very chewy. So maybe we're enlightening folks on the gizzard here. But we're giving the gizzard out to those who could have done better in Texas politics this year. The roundtable doing the honors for us. Bernadine, you're up next with the Texas GOP chair, Matt Rinaldi.
And he deserves one. He definitely deserves one because he shows what a chair shouldn't do. He does it because he is the head of the party, and he is supposed to bring the different members together. Instead, he's divisive. He divides the party, and then he refuses to criticize those who need to be criticized, and he criticizes those who are doing a decent job, such as the Liberty. So
Defend Texas Liberty.
Yes, yes. So I think he definitely deserves one.
He still, Bud, seems to have widespread support within the party.
And it's widespread support among the few people who participate in the party. But if you look at the party itself is really just a little club of activists who are fascinated with their own ability and power. They had last time they had a convention, the governor didn't even go.
That's a good point. Any thoughts about the chairman of the RPT?
I mean, you have to you just kind of repeat what Bernadine said about the Defend Texas Liberty thing and how he got caught up on in that, and also how when Speaker Phelan kind of called out the whole aspect of Defend Texas Liberty and the connections to the white supremacists. It wasn't necessarily a universal call. It was more of he was going after the House Speaker after that.
And of course, that was reporting that started with the Texas Tribune earlier this year as well. All right, Bud, you're up next with State Rep Andrew Moore from Junction, Texas, out in West Texas.
We saw a lot of lawyers during the Paxton removal trial. We saw a lot of high-priced lawyers. But I think the best moment was the original opening statement by Andrew Moore, and then also in the House when he brought the case and convince the House to go ahead with the removal of the Attorney General at the time. Of course, the Senate didn't follow up. The House's job was to present an argument, and the Senate's job is to decide. But Andrew Murr by far presented the best argument. Then we never saw him again during the rest of the trial. But he made a passionate case that the state of Texas should think twice about whether this Attorney General should continue. The Senate decided to punt it.
And Ian, you know, since all that happened, Andrew Murr has decided not to run for re-election. Why is that, you think?
Well, it's probably a couple of things, but certainly the trial is, did have an impact. And, right after that, Attorney General Paxton has basically said he's going after, he's endorsing all the opponents in the primaries of people who voted for his impeachment. Yeah. And, Representative Murr probably, sure multiple things factored into it, but it was just such a divisive session that it's,
yes.
Made some decisions easy.
And speaking of the Attorney General, he's up for the next award right now. I'm giving him a gizzard this morning, and you mentioned that Brian Slayton was one of the easiest. I mean, the Attorney General has had a heck of a year. Come on here. The impeachment he had, wanting to pay $3.3 million in taxpayer money to settle the whistleblower claims after he fired them, allegations of the extramarital affair, which he admitted to, I believe, as well. And then there's the federal grand jury investigation, federal grand jury meeting in San Antonio this year. I think that the Attorney General probably deserves, I don't know if a 32-pound bag you're talking about, Bud, but he deserves a plate of gizzards.
Enough to cover a countertop, I'd say.
This countertop. And what is so amazing is he acts as if nothing has happened.
Because he was exonerated by the Senate, yeah.
well, yes.
He was left in office.
Politically, he was.
He
That's
still
right.
has legal.
He's the political
exposure on this. Yeah. Let's talk about the next award here. This is someone we've never talked about before. A lot of folks didn't know her. And Ian, you have this one. It's Kathleen McElroy, journalism professor.
Yes, and as A&M was trying to revive its journalism program, they looked to they recruited an alum, a distinguished professor who was at UT, Kathleen McElroy, and then of course, after a big public kind of announcement about her hiring to lead the program, it kind of fell apart, and we later found out through the Tribune's reporting, that McElroy was, the offer that they gave her kept changing because of constituents within the Texas A&M system unhappy about the fact that she worked a long time with the New York Times, her work on race and diversity, and things just fell apart to the point where she couldn't accept the offer because it had been watered down so much. But through it all, she wasn't looking for attention. She just wanted to represent a school that she loved.
And didn't the Texas Tribune report as well too that people inside Texas A&M wanted someone who could report their style of news? Mm-hmm.
There was definitely that reporting as well too, and it's just still kind of now there's still a lot of internal division at A&M about kind of how to move forward on that.
Bernadine, you're up next with a gizzard for the Commissioner of Education, the TEA. It's Mike Morath.
You know what? These are examples of how these positions and agencies and head of agencies should not act, because especially when he came up, he developed this grading system. And the superintendents didn't even know what was going to happen until it happened. And also, it appears as if he was in lockstep with Abbott in terms of trying to go through vouchers.
Plus Houston ISD, that was an issue as well, too.
Well, I'm getting to that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead. But, taking over Houston ISD, and what came out in reporting as well is that he had charter schools.
That Mike Miles did.
Miles had charter schools. Well,
who was appointed to run HISD?
Charter schools in the state of Texas that were failing, and he was still expanding those schools.
Right. Yeah.
So he definitely deserves more than one gizzard.
All right, Bud, you have the last name here. State Senator Kelly Hancock, a Republican from Fort Worth.
Senator Hancock, people might not have known his name before this session. He's a staunch pro-lifer, business conservative, fit in pretty well to the Senate. But at some point during the Paxton removal trial, he believed that there probably was a case for not having General Paxton continue in office anymore. That trial really came closer than people think. It came within about 2 votes. And then when they found it wouldn't pass, and so Republicans flipped back. Kelly continued to vote for removal, and he stood alone and took the heat from people who put him on blast on Twitter. Said people with 2.5 million followers said, call this a liberal Democrat. He was harassed and bombarded, and he still stood his ground. He voted his district. A lot of the conservatives in Tarrant County felt like maybe the lawyers accusing Ken Paxton were right.
All right. We have a few more names left. State Rep Jeff Leach is up next, along with Mattress Mac from Houston and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick again when Inside Texas Politics returns.
Perfect.
What did you get us?
With the click of a pen, you can get a new Volkswagen at the Sign Then Drive event. Hurry in to lease a new 2024 Atlas for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing. Limited inventory available.
NFM is making Black Friday a weekend event with doorbusters in-store and online Saturday and Sunday. Shop incredible weekend doorbusters like TVs, desks, earbuds, fireplace consoles, reclining furniture, pool tables, and more, but only while they last. Get budget-friendly 30-month financing on furniture, flooring, select appliances, TVs, and audio. Shop popular gifts and top brands in every category all weekend long. And NFM makes it easy with drive-through pickup. Make your holidays happen for less, only at NFM.
Timing is everything. And here in Texas, Black Friday marks the beginning of the most wonderful time of the year. When families come together, traditions come alive, and the best deals on your favorite Ford vehicles continue all week long. The Black Friday sales event is on at your Texas Ford dealer. Don't wait. Now's the time to make the holidays bright. It all ends soon. Drive an F-150 XLT with 2.9 financing for 72 months at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys, Mavericks, and Stars.
Biscuits and taquitos and breakfast on a bun. Those are just a few of the things you can make a part of your morning routine at Whataburger. Then again, with so many choices, you could make a routine of not having a routine. But would not having a routine still be a routine? Chew on that for a while. Whataburger breakfast, just like you like it.
This may look like a holiday shopping showdown, but it's a Nissan sales event ad. Good thing my Rogue has intelligent all-wheel drive.
So does my Altima.
Get 2.9% financing for 60 months on Rogue, plus get up to $1,000 holiday bonus cash on popular models. Better hurry, these offers won't be back in stock.
'Tis the season when money is tight, but you could get up to $10,000 using your car title. I got $2,800 with my car title from Title Max. Skip the holiday bustle, get money in as little as 30 minutes.
I got $8,700 with my car title from Title Max.
And best of all, keep driving your vehicle while getting the cash you need. All makes and models welcome. Visit TitleMax.com today to get started, and you'll say, I got my title back with Title Max.
Get your title back with Title Max.
You look like a responsible family guy. Looking for something with a little more space?
With the click of a pen, you can get a new Volkswagen at the Sign Then Drive event. Hurry in to lease a new 2024 Tiguan for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing. Limited inventory available.
This is Inside Texas Politics with Jason Whiteley.
All right, welcome back to Inside Texas Politics this morning. A few names left on our annual Turkey Awards, giving out the best and the worst in Texas politics. Recognizing it, at least this morning, I have the next award up this morning. It's a leg for the Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick. He gets a leg for something that affects us all. Of course, you know, he got a gizzard from Bud earlier. I'm giving him a leg for tangible property tax cuts. For too long, the legislature has passed all these funding formulas and played with numbers and said, oh, well, you're getting, you know, a property tax cut, but we'd never have seen it until this year, and we're finally seeing that. I think the Lieutenant Governor, who's led this effort for years, deserves a leg for that.
I think he needs
And everyone else is taking the money here and not talking about it, right?
No. I think he needs 2 legs.
2 legs for that.
He needs both legs because we needed a break in our taxes, and he was determined. See, that was one thing that was admirable about him. He was determined to get it done.
He knew that's what the voters wanted.
Indeed so, and wanted it for a while. Ian, you're up next with Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas. Well, if I'm going to give a leg to Kathleen McElroy, probably just I need to give a gizzard to Texas A&M for how they've had a bad 2023. That's the whole situation. They acknowledge mistakes were made in how they handled the situation with Dr. McElroy, and then of course the Jimbo Fisher firing and $75+ million going out in a buyout, obviously that, that money may be paid through donor funds and athletic department money, but that is still $75 million plus that, is coming out of a public university institution. So yeah, A&M had a tough year.
No one would argue with A&M having a tough year from the sports side to the journalism side to the overall politics there. Bernadine, you're up next with State Rep Jeff Leach, Republican from Collin County.
But I think that he has done a lot of things during his term, but I think most importantly is when during the trial, during Ken Paxton's impeachment trial, when he gave such a stirring, passionate speech in terms of convicting him. And I keep using the word courage because to me, I see a lot of lacking in some of our representatives having courage. And he stood up there and he was sincere, although it didn't help in terms of, well, it might have, because we've heard that the vote was close until they realized that he was not going to be convicted. But I think he deserves a leg.
And Bud, you have the final one this morning. It's a gizzard for a first-time recipient.
Oh, I think we have to look at the Houston Icon Mattress Mac this time, and I think we have to give him a big gizzard this time. What a year Mattress Mac had. He lost $3 million betting on TCU to cover in the national championship game. He lost $2 million on the Cowboys against the 49ers in the playoffs. He lost $4 million betting on Houston Cougars basketball in the Final Four. And then he lost $7 million. He thought the Houston Astros were going to beat the eventual world champion Rangers. I think this time we give him a gizzard, and if he bets on Ted Cruz, I'd be worried.
He needs more than he needs a sack full of money. He's lost a lot of money this year, it sounds like.
He's still selling plenty of mattresses.
There'll have to be a lot of mattresses at Gallery Furniture there on I-45 to make up for those bad bets he had this year. You're laughing back there.
Oh, yeah. Well, as an Astros fan, I can't argue with the bet that he made. But, yeah, it was a tough year for Mattress Mac. I wish I had that kind of money to bet, though.
Yeah.
My condolences to you, too, Aya.
I wish I had the money. I don't know if I would bet it, but I wish I had the money.
Yeah, indeed so. Guys, thanks so much. We appreciate it as always. Thank you for watching as well. The Turkey Awards and Inside Texas Politics. We've been doing this, 15, 16 years? And we always appreciate you joining us. Tell us what you think about it as well. You can find me on Twitter, or X, I guess I should say now. My handle is @Jason Whiteley. Always appreciate you watching. We'll see you again next Sunday.